We've been talking through some like limiting beliefs today, the power of dominant thoughts, and that incredible magic wand exercise. And Valerie just helped us bring things down to earth with her powerful testimony of how this works. We've covered a lot today, those internal objections, the limiting beliefs, the thoughts that we become, and what we truly want when we let ourselves dream. So, are you guys ready to look at how to deal with the world around you? You know, the one that, quite frankly, is often kind of a drag, literally trying to drag you down, or at least it can seem that way. Are you feeling me? Yeah. Brian, let's free these beautiful people, shall we?
Thanks, Tommy. You know that trailer, man, I love that. And Tootie, I saw you. Your little victory. That's awesome. You know, Dad had a saying that he repeated over and over again, and he got it from Ray Stanford. That was the fellow that gave him Think and Grow Rich on October 21st, 1961. He said, "You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution." You know, that's personal responsibility in its purest form. It's not the economy. It's not your boss. It's not your spouse or your ex. It's not the kids. It's not the government. It's not even your past. You know, as hard as it can be to hear the truth, it is our results are always a reflection of our thinking. That's it. That's the simple truth. And here's the beautiful side of that truth. The moment you take ownership, you also reclaim your power to change everything. You know, I think back to Ray Stanford's quote, "You're the only problem you'll ever have, and you are the only solution." I think of a gentleman I worked with who kept telling me his business partner was the reason he couldn't get ahead. God, he was frustrated. He was resentful. He was always pointing outward. But you know what? The day he finally said, you know, this is my responsibility. I choose how I respond. I choose how I show up. I choose whether I stay in this partnership or not. That was the day everything changed. You know, within months, he restructured his business. He stepped into his own leadership and his income multiplied. It wasn't because the partner changed. Huh. It's because he changed. I want you to think about that. You know, Dad lived this way all through his life. Man, from a man in debt with no direction to one of the most impactful teachers in the world. And I can say that wholeheartedly. He did it by taking responsibility. Man, he never blamed his past. And he had a crappy past. Never blamed it. He never blamed his lack of education. And he never blamed the people around him. He decided, he took ownership, and he built a life of freedom. And really, that's my invitation to you. You know, the moment you stop waiting for the world to change, you start taking responsibility for your own results. That's when you step into your power.
Type I am in the chat if you're ready to take full responsibility for your life.
I love that,
Brian,
Tommy, because that's where it's all at. That is.
yeah. Okay, Brian, talk to us about that one thing that we said earlier we were going to talk about at the end here that holds us all back. What's that one thing?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Now that you've made the decision to truly take responsibility, here's the piece of the puzzle. You know, Dad spent over 60 years working with people from every walk of life, CEOs, athletes, teachers, parents, entrepreneurs. And here's the thing, he noticed a pattern. It wasn't the lack of talent that held people back. Think about this. It's not the lack of talent. It wasn't lack of money, and it was not lack of opportunity. Here's the one thing that held people back, the one thing that consistently kept people from making radical change. And that's this, waiting for the entire plan to appear before you take action. That's the problem. People would say, as soon as I know how it'll all work out, then I'll start. Of course, that day never comes. They say when the kids are in school, or maybe when the kids are finished school, or any number of excuses. They wait for the plan before they step out and do anything. Man, if you wait for the plan to be perfect, you'll never step out and do it. You know, in the book that I wrote, 12 Easy Steps, it's this. You don't need to know the whole plan. All you need to know is your first step and take it. Take it. Bet on yourself. The rest of the way will show itself. If you are trying to formulate that perfect plan, man, you're going to be sitting in your chair and at your desk for a long time. Get out and make it happen. Your plan will not reveal itself until you move. The next step doesn't show up until you take that first one. You hear that? Until you take the first one. It's time to take your first step. I'll say it again. The next step doesn't show up until you take the first one.
So true.
Um,
Yep. So be honest, friends. Have you ever waited to have the whole plan before you allowed yourself to move forward? Type plan in the chat if that's you. Cory?
I call that the coulda, woulda, shoulda track in life. Waiting, just waiting. Oh, I could have done that. I should have done that. That's no way to live. That is just no way to live. Readiness, it's not a decision. Or readiness is a decision. It's not a condition. It's a decision. I remember your dad often quoting Martin Luther King. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. It starts with decision. And I think this is where we are going to bring on the incredible Ricky Kotecha to help you move the needle in this department. His story is so inspiring. This all started when, so Ricky's been with us from the beginning, just like Valerie, and he got into a hot seat, which is our one-on-one coaching during the group calls. And during that call, he made a decision, and we all watched the transformation happen. And it was so fun because Brian said, Ricky, you do this, and we are going to come to Vancouver and see you. And we did. We absolutely did. As soon as he did it, I said to Brian, okay, we got to make that trip happen. We made a promise, and I want to meet this guy. So Ricky, come on down.
Yeah. Hi, Ricky. Welcome. How are you?
Oh yes, hi there. Hi everyone. Hi Tommy, Brian, Cory, Trace,
Hey,
all the
Ricky.
Proctors family. Great to see everyone here. Fantastic class again.
So great to have you, Ricky. So tell us a little bit about that hot seat that day. What was going on in your life at that time?
Yeah, so when I had that hot seat back in December, I was just looking back on it now, I can tell that I was in a lot of fear. I wanted to move to Vancouver, wanted to like live the life of my dreams out here and chase the things that I want to go for. But while I was before that hot seat, I was just stuck. I was stuck and frozen. And I think there was all these fears in the back of my mind, like, oh, how am I going to pay for the thing that I want? How am I going to pay for my flights? How am I going to pay to live out here?
Yeah.
I was just so focused on the how. And then it starts to spiral into, oh, I wanted to go 5 years ago. I've let the opportunity slip by. And I'm still like just stuck here in London. And then on that hot seat, it was all of you guys and then Brian as well. And he just said, what are you doing in London? Like the business that you want to have and create, why are you building it in London? The girl or the relationship that you want to find and to live out in Canada, why you're not going to find her in London?
Mm.
You want to be out with friends hiking, like your lifestyle is hiking and being out there paddleboarding and being in the mountain. He's like, there's none of that in London. Like, you're not going to get that in London. Like, what are you doing in London? And I just froze, like completely. It was just like it could have been like a minute silence, maybe. I'm sure everyone saw it, and it just like I think the penny just kind of dropped where I just like froze, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to, yeah, like what am I doing here? Like, why am I here? Like,
Yeah.
why am I not there?
Yeah. Do you think you were waiting for the whole plan to unfold in your mind first before taking action?
I was, yeah, I was really waiting for the whole plan. Because one of my goals is to live in a penthouse suite in Vancouver. And Brian was like, well, you need to take the first step to get yourself there. To be able to then step into it. Like stop waiting. And as he said on that book, stop waiting for the big thing. Stop waiting for the big thing. Like you need to start now. Like you can have the vision in your mind and you can, like you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Type of process.
Mm-hmm.
Here's that you need to take the action and take the first step.
Yeah.
And and then just going just after that call, then I was like, okay, yeah, I still went back to, okay, how am I going to pay for this thing? But hey, I need to book this flight somehow, so I'll figure it out. And then it was like January, this is December, so like literally 4 weeks to the day, I just decided to launch something and just put myself out there, launch something new. And I had the best year, like the best month I ever had in
Wow.
business. Like it was suddenly just like it was like a 30K like launch. And I was like, oh my God, like I can pay for my flight now. I can pay for more stuff. So then I went and booked my flight the day after the money came into the account. And then I went to, oh, but how am I going to afford the accommodation? And because I know Vancouver is an expensive place. So I launched again 4 weeks later in February, and it was like another 20K. And it was just like, I wasn't actually focused on, before I came in, I was so focused on, oh, I need like a new strategy to bring in income to pay for all of this stuff. But I realized that's not what I needed. What I needed was the mindset shift to just go for it. And I guess a big thing there was having the community and someone with like, giving that belief. I think the big one was that belief in that you have everything you need inside of you, like you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think you would, because you're in Vancouver now, do you think you would be there if that hadn't if you weren't, in with Brian and Cory and all of us and in that hot seat that day? Do you think you'd still be in the UK? What do you think?
I think I would still be in the UK, still trying to make a plan or still thinking about it like, oh, shall I go? Shall I not? How shall I do this? How am I going to pay for it? Oh, I've got all of this stuff to do. I think I would just be stuck. I'm just like stuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am in Vancouver now, and it's just like life is incredible.
That's
Like
so
it is
cool.
everything that I've been heading towards, and everything's just continually unfolding. It's like a quantum leap every single day. Every single day, it's like something new, a new opportunity is now coming my way. Whereas before, it was just nothing. I was just like at home, and I wasn't even going out because I felt depressed and sad, and just didn't see nothing coming towards me. And now it's just like everything is just I see differently. Like, and I mean everything. That's friends, relationships, the business.
Mhm.
I don't even know how this is all happening. That goes to the how, I guess. I have no idea how.
But yeah, that's how it goes. I like Carolyn in the chat. She said it sounds like magic. Yeah, it's kind of how it feels, right?
It really does.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So inspiring. Ricky, you're amazing. Thank you for showing up here for us. And I think it's safe to say that you have no idea how much you just touched everyone here. And well, hopefully that you do, but so
Yeah,
you just never know.
that's it.
Brian, yeah, go ahead.
Tommy, there was something I wanted to share actually, because it was on
Please.
it was on my Instagram, because it was when I first joined the program. And I think if I read this out, I think might relate to like just where I was,
Go for it.
because I think it's really, I sent a message. I joined the program and I sent a message to Brian, and Brian would probably remember this. He'll remember this message for sure. And I was like, hi, Brian, I'm excited to join your and Cory's program. I'm in a transition phase that I'm trying to move from an old identity to create a new identity now. Even though I can't afford it right now, because I couldn't afford to join the program, a mentor told me, you never walk around in life saying you can't afford this. If you want something, shift it to how can I afford it? And then I said, I enjoyed your authenticity and the intuition guided me to join you guys. And Brian wrote back, welcome. Ricky, welcome. I'm glad you decided to join us. I appreciate your belief in us and this program. I assure you, you will need a telescope to look back on where you are today. I look forward to getting to know you.
Oh,
And that is so true.
wow.
Like I definitely it's been just over a year since I joined the program, and it's like needing a telescope for sure. It's like way.
Wow. Well, that's so good. I didn't know about that message. That is super cool. You'll have to send us a screenshot of that so we can have it. Thank you, Ricky. That's so good. Brian, you want to say anything to Ricky?
Man, I just want to say thanks, Ricky. You know what? He is a special man. But here's the deal. Ricky did this. We didn't do it. He did it. He bet on himself. That's the power of this community. People will hold you up and they will push you out and let you bet on yourself. And look at this, man. This guy's living a great life. Cory and I were up there. We had a spectacular couple of days with Ricky. He hiked us to the point of burnt legs, took us bicycling all over the place. He already knows the best restaurants in town. I mean, he is living the life, living the life. And you know why he's living it? Because he bet on himself. He didn't map it all out and plan the whole thing because if he did, he'd still be in the UK. And I'm here to tell you, I just the time that we spent with Ricky, this guy, he's a special guy, but he's living life on his terms. And his life, you can see it expanding. You can see all the good that he's attracting. He's attracting that good because he was willing to bet on himself. And Ricky, it was, man, I'm so grateful that we got to spend time with you and meet you. And I know that won't be the last time, that's for sure. You're way too close to us to not have that happen again. So thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, you inspire, I think, all of us. Here's the truth. Here's the one thing that holds most people back. It's not the economy. It's not their circumstances. It's not even our abilities. It's hesitation. It's waiting for that certainty. Ricky made a decision. He wasn't certain. He was scared. I'm sure that was not an easy thing. He didn't even have the money to pull it all off, but he figured it out. Certainty doesn't come first. Decisions, that's what comes first. What do you need to make a decision on? What do you need to step into to be that bigger version of you? The moment you take that first step, no matter how small, the rest of the way forward begins to unfold. That's the trick. That's it. That's how radical change happens. Man, Tommy, how about you? I've seen that happen for you. My God, man.
Time and time again, for sure. Yes. Thank you, Brian. Let's give Ricky a round of applause. And another one here for Miss Valerie. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, all right, friends, another prompt for you. I want you to type first step in the chat if you're ready to stop waiting for the whole plan and start moving forward today, okay, right now. All right. All right, Brian, let's bring it back to you to kind of bring us on home here.
All right. Well, first, I just want to say thanks to both Ricky and Valerie. That was really kind of you both to take your time. You've been here the whole time and to share your experience.
Yeah.
We are gifted with a lot of really spectacular people in this program. You know, Dad used to tell me, he said, Brian, the step you take today doesn't have to be big. It just have to move you forward. Think about that. Does not have to be big, just has to move you forward. Thanks, Elspeth. I see you. You know, over time, those little steps, they add up to a dream realized. It's like Ricky said, he needs that microscope now because he's just kept doing the little steps. And man, look at that. His life is so different. Boy, I've seen his Instagram. He is living large. He's having fun with new friends, like new people, new everything. And he's out doing what he really wants to do. So whatever your goal is, health, love, business, freedom, commit to it one step a day. That's how you get there. It's never a straight line, but it's step by step. How about you, Cory?
Yeah.
Well, I also want to thank Ricky and Valerie for coming on here. Your stories are so incredible. But they're no different from you, right? From all of you that are here. This can be you because it was them. It was me. It was Tommy. It was Trace. This can be you. You know, this is something we've seen again and again. A lot of people accumulate knowledge and they can just spout things off. They memorize the principle, but the principles of what we're doing, but they lack the support. The support is the bridge between them and the desired results. Accountability and community will make or break your growth. It's like this great quote that we use frequently from Martin Rutt. You've got to do it by yourself, but you can't do it alone. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're trying to do it alone, it's too easy to slip back into the old patterns. Life gets busy, doubts creep in, and before you know it, it's weeks and months have gone by and nothing has changed. But when you have a community cheering you on and holding you accountable, that's when breakthroughs stick. I know the people on this call today who are already in Proctor's principles that will support that statement because they have experienced it, just like you heard with Ricky and Valerie. The consistency with the weekly calls keeps everyone in the high vibration of action taking. Right, Tommy?
Yep. Absolutely. We see it every week. Okay, folks, who here already knows that you do better when someone is holding you accountable? Type accountability into the chat. This was a huge one for me when I first got into Bob's material. I've had my accountability partner for over 7 years, my good buddy Rachel, and she's amazing, and we have made all the difference in the world for each other. So what did your dad, how did he apply this idea, Brian?
Well, I mean, he really lived this. He always said environment is stronger than willpower. It really is. Think about that. Your environment will always pull you in its direction. If you're surrounded by negative people, people who complain, play it small, you'll get pulled into that energy eventually. You really will. But if you're surrounded by people who are growing, who are dreaming, people who believe in themselves, like all of this community. Look at Ricky. You rise with them. I've watched clients who struggled for years suddenly start thriving, not because they suddenly became smarter, but because they finally had the right people around them, reminding them of who they really are, encouraging, God, even challenging them to step up. That's what this community is all about. And man, that's what I love about it. I know you've seen the chat. I know you've seen people that are in the program. They don't have to be here. They don't have to put things in the chat, but they do. You know why? Because they are cheering each other on. That's a special place.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay, one more, you guys. Let's anchor this in together. Write the word together in the chat if you're ready to grow with accountability and community and understand what a massive shift that will cause for you. I think here's the big takeaway from this conversation. You are your only problem and you are your only solution, just like Ray said to Bob. So stop waiting for the whole plan. Take one small step today and don't do it alone. Surround yourself with people in a community that lift you higher.